And welcome to our first edition of the Laker Landing here with Laker Athletics. My name is Greg Powers, Director of the Broadcasting Program at Lakeland College, also Station Manager of WLKL-FM. And during these times of pandemic and being stay-at-home order, we're trying to find and feature some ways to talk about Lakeland College athletics, which are still in the mix. And we still want to recognize our athletes, talk to our coaches, find out what they're doing during this downtime. And so we think this is going to be a good way to do that. And so we're glad you're joining us for this. And today we're going to feature the Lakeland College baseball team. We have Coach Julio with us, Assistant Coach Zach Stewart, and we have sophomore pitcher Cole PAPLHAM. And Cole says I've pronounced that right. So I hope so, Cole, for all of your fans and family back home. So we're excited to have them on our program today, and we're glad you're here to watch and listen. And so hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about our coaches and players and what they're doing in this time. So we'll start with Coach Julio. And boy, this year is a challenging time for everyone, Coach. And I know that your baseball program is no exception. Talk a little bit about what you foresee in terms of your program going forward with no playing this spring.
Well, right now, it's correct. It's a tough time, and, a lot of guys are unsure what to do right now. Myself, Coach Stu, and Coach Murphy sent a text to the guys last week, just letting them know, like, hey, this too shall pass, but we got to be patient. But at the same time, we have to be ready. I think during this time for any athlete, but more specifically since we're talking about baseball, this time is going to separate the athletes or the baseball players that want to be good baseball players or just want to be, part of the team and hang out on the bench. And, I urge all of our guys returning and all the guys moving on to other schools that this is the time that they need to put in work, whether it be hitting off a tee or, going for some type of run. You're still social distancing yourself. You're still doing it by yourself. Cole, on this broadcast with us, he's fortunate to have a younger brother who I think is actually going to be just like he is, tall, lanky, loose arm. But as far as the state of our program, I really like the sophomores coming back. I really like the freshmen coming in and the freshmen who are returning, and I talked to our coaches and I mentioned that next year is going to be a very different year, because of COVID-19. We're going to have COVID sophomores, which that's what Cole is. We're going to have COVID freshmen, who are the freshmen that should be sophomores, and then we're going to have true freshmen. So, this, besides our program, is going to affect many programs across the country, kind of causing a logjam in certain recruiting aspects. But I feel like we're going to have more talent in the field. I feel like guys coming back are going to know what, our expectations are. Cause you could even talk to Coach Stu a little bit, who's been here. And I think we were pretty hard on the guys. Like, we expected a lot of them. We got them up 4, sometimes 5 times a week at 6 o'clock in the morning. And, we really, pushed them mentally and physically. And I really do think the guys got better, and moving forward, I think this program is going to be better for it.
Coach Stewart, talk a little bit about what your situation has been since this pandemic has happened. Are you guys working with the players a little bit, giving them some tips in terms of workouts, things to do on their own? Because as Coach alluded to, it's solo or maybe with a sibling, and that's about it.
Right. It's definitely a different time. Just the fact that we don't get to see them, being hands-on with them is always the best way to go. And so right now it's definitely difficult to do the remote access with them. We have given out some, I guess I would say, suggestions on how to go through workouts, throwing, staying in shape and stuff like that. But, right now, honestly, it's kind of a wait and see how things pan out. And when we know we can have guys, start to gear up for baseball shape, especially with pitchers in their arms, even the position players just getting a chance to throw. All of that together will definitely be determined a little bit more off of when we know if we can have them go out for the summer, or if it's going to have to wait until we come back together next fall.
Coach Julio alluded to the fact that the NJCAA has granted some additional eligibility to sophomores, and it sounds like, Cole, you are one of those who maybe is considering a return to Lakeland. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I been talking to Julio for the past couple weeks already about what I wanted to do. I could have went to school down in Georgia, but for me, I thought the best decision for me is to come back another year, get my grades up, and develop a little more. And that's kind of what I've been thinking, talking to Julio, and then talking to my family, especially just seeing what's best for me. And in my opinion, it's probably the best opinion or best option for me, and that will end up benefiting me in the future.
Let's talk about you as a student. As an instructor, I know it's been a challenge for myself to transition to an online situation. Had 8 weeks of the semester left at Lakeland College. How about yourself? How was that transition? Are you back home in Wisconsin, or are you still in the Lakeland College area? And tell us about your transition academically.
Yeah, I'm back home in Wisconsin right now. But for everything with online, it's definitely different for sure. There's a lot more homework, a lot more work that needs to be put in. It's definitely different than other classes, because there's some classes that usually you would take on campus instead of online. Like my weather and climate class is definitely different. Doing labs online, it's a lot longer. Just have to go to the lectures, listen to the lectures, watch the notes and everything. It's definitely different. It takes a lot consuming, but whatever, in the end that helps me or getting results and getting a better grade, I guess it's okay. It's fine with me. As long as I'm benefiting from it right now, so I'm all right with it. So right now it's ended up working out for me right now, so I'm not complaining about it too much. And I'm back home with my family too, so it's kind of a win-win what's going on right now. But at the same time, I'd rather be playing baseball.
I understand. Coach Julio, I'd like to follow up a little bit on the situation where you may have some sophomores returning for what would be a third year, so to speak, but really just eligibility-wise a second year. Do you have any numbers in terms of how many you think that will affect in terms of your program? You talked a little bit about how now you may have additional players, and has the college provided you additional resources in regards to that as well? So.
Well, that's been the big debate. The NJCAA has said sophomores are able, to come back on the same scholarship or less regarding the institution's decision. And I completely respect what the institution's doing, and I'm very fortunate, and the program's very fortunate to be given what we're given. And that's where the past couple weeks it's been, a couple hard conversations, because, the majority sophomores have showed interest in coming back. And, I've had to have that hard conversation with some of them and say, hey, because of the situation, we can't afford to have you back. As much as I love these guys and I want to bring them back, some of these sophomores academically, it's time to move them on. And you can't be in a junior college forever. You gotta try to go after your degree and what you want. And we're fortunate to have Cole back, and this situation is really a blessing in disguise for Cole. Cole's a very hardworking kid, and he took a very hard major to start. So, we got him switched over, and I think in the long run, it's going to work out really well for him. But the numbers of sophomores that we got coming back right now, it's about 4 or 5. And those 4 or 5 guys are what I consider, actually it's more than that. I mean, it's 4 scholarship guys, and then you got a couple local guys who'll be coming back to continue their academics and obviously help us on the field. And it's going to be, these are guys that are going to contribute, that have been contributed this season. Cole's one of them. Kobe Pemberton's another one. Andrew Erickson, who's our catcher, is another one who I'm excited about, because he got so much better over the course of the year. He kind of got stuck with the responsibilities of being, the only guy we had back there to catch. And, I'm proud of the work he's done. He's going to come back and graduate, and, our hope is to move him on to bigger and better, which is the same thing that we're trying to do with Cole. Cole had a big opportunity to go down to Georgia, and he decided to come back to graduate and to get his GPA up. And, I'm excited to see his growth, and to have a full year with Cole is going to be really exciting, because just from the beginning of the fall till where we ended on March 11th, like he's done such a good job maturing and such a good job developing. So with the, I think there's maybe 8 guys that are coming back. So I'm excited to add that to our roster of freshmen and COVID freshmen that we have.
It's a good term, COVID freshman. I like how you've termed that, but I don't know how else to describe it, to be quite honest. Coach Stewart, how has COVID-19 affected in terms of what you guys do recruiting here at Lakeland College, and not having a spring season to look at potential high school players?
We did a pretty good job in the fall, jump starting on some of that. So the overall recruiting part won't affect us quite as much. The thing is affecting us on how we see some of the guys that are late bloomers now just having to go off of a video they may make on their cell phone or go off of what their coach says about them, type of thing, to bring in and to finish the recruiting process with those guys. The other thing that's weird about it is the whole non-face-to-face, not being able to bring them on campus, not being able to have meetings outside of phone calls and text messages with them. So that makes it difficult, just in the fact that you can't have them there to show off what we have at Lakeland in person. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. And then the other thing would be the kickstart on the guys that are juniors, not being able to see them at all. And if summer doesn't go as planned, not seeing any of them until the fall next year, and that'll make next fall that much more busy, plus important with our guys, but also then trying to get on the guys that are going to be seniors in that 2021 class.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard anything definitively about in terms of what summer looks like for travel baseball, or I know Legion has canceled their national tournament and some of the region tournaments, if you would, but I still think there's some hope from what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you might be able to get out there and see some guys in whatever respect they play in during the summer. Is that right, Coach?
Well, that's the exciting part, man, is getting out and actually going to watch games and watch these guys compete. Because we talk about building a championship program, and it's tough to do that on video, because you want to get to know the competitor, you want to get to know the kid, you want to see how he fails, you want to see how he succeeds. And I think that's what's the important part about recruiting. But we'll find out tomorrow what the IHSA decides from high school baseball standpoint. Governor Pritzker putting pretty much canceling all school for the remainder of the semester is pretty tough. But we'll find out, and we'll find out what state baseball is in this summer. I mean, all of us are kind of waiting pins and needles on what's going on with the MLB. Right now the big topic is The Last Dance, and I have yet to see it, so I'm itching about that. But that's kind of like our sports right now. But from a recruiting standpoint, who knows? I mean, Coach Stu hit the nail on the head. We did a great job, what we feel, this fall, identifying needs, going out and getting kids on campus, and we're trying to formulate ideas and different options of what we need to do recruiting wise. I'm fortunate that they let us get on the field and work on it. So, hopefully sometime soon we'll be doing virtual tours with potential recruits. Right now is a crazy time in college baseball because of the NCAA and transfer portal. And, you got a bunch of would-be Division I athletes transferring and going to junior college. So I'll tell you what, it is a great time to be a junior college coach right now with this situation going on. This sucks, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of athletes that we probably wouldn't get that we have the option and possibility to get now because of the logjam that this is putting some 4-year schools in.
There are going to be some immaculate baseball fields, that's for sure.
Right.
Country as well. They're not getting any work in, that's for sure. Cole, I want to talk to you a little bit about your future plans. You're coming back to Lakeland, but Coach hinted at the opportunity maybe to play in Georgia. You want to tell us a little bit about that, and maybe also tell us what your summer baseball plans look like, depending on how the pandemic continues.
I think it was a couple weeks ago, it was my first outing of the year because I got held back due to a little bit of some stress in the back of my shoulder, so I got held back for a little. Or some tension, or this is, I don't know what really exactly, but I got my first outing. It's only, I think, It's like 3 weeks in, Coach. It's 4 weeks in.
It was the fourth weekend. We kind of said, hey, we're gonna let you heal and get ready for conference, and you did pretty well. I mean, I think it was 4 innings, 6 strikeouts, 3 runs allowed, and we just didn't have the offense for you that day.
Yeah. But the game, the coach came talk to me, and he offered me a scholarship to come down there. And then after that, like, I was planning on going down there really soon, going and visit down there, and everything was going to be set up. And that week of I think it was the 11th, we found out that we weren't going to be able to play, or we were on suspension. And then that week we had spring break after, so I ended up going home and waiting for all this to kind of blow by. I can go and visit soon to Georgia, and then they ended up canceling our season, and everything was closed down, and we couldn't go anywhere. So it's kind of affected all my recruiting too. So I kind of talked to him. That's why I kind of decided it'd be best for me to come back to Lakeland one more year. And I thought with the family and everything, that'd be my best decision I could have made.
Great. It sounds like you got some great opportunities ahead of you. Tell us a little bit, Cole, what's been taking care of your downtime other than studies and doing plenty of training? I say that with the baseball coaches here in this broadcast as well. But besides the training and besides the studying, what's been keeping you busy during all of this downtime?
Right now, I kind of just been helping my dad, like maybe a couple hours a day, just getting some money because I kind of need it. It would kind of help me out. I've been kind of going a little money lately, or when I was at college. So right now I'm kind of just helping my dad out a couple hours a day. If I need to go on jobs with him, I can go on jobs with him, help him out. And otherwise, I'm just kind of helping my mom around the house, do some chores around the house for her. That's about it. Really can't do anything except training, really. My basement right now, and then doing homework pretty much. So that's about all I can do right now.
And no gaming systems. I'm surprised a college student didn't say.
I got that.
You got that. Okay. All right. Very good. And how about coaches? Obviously, you still have some things to do in terms of your coaching responsibilities, but like everyone else, you do have a little more time on your hands, I'm sure. I'll start Coach Stewart. What's been keeping you busy? A honey-do list maybe, or?
Honey-do list, baby preparations, and then I have joined the gaming community and bought a PS4.
Let's go.
And play some video games now.
Been recruited to that end. How about Coach Julio?
I'm kind of jealous that I don't have a PS4, and I've talked to my wife. I go, can I buy it? And she's a hard no on that. Because I need my baseball fix.
Maybe we could start a GoFundMe account for Julio.
We don't need a GoFundMe. We need a petition to let Amanda Godinez allow her husband Julio to buy a PlayStation.
It's not a financial decision. It's more of an in-house decision.
More of the boss says no, so I have to go with the boss says. But for me, it's been a lot of time watching videos. Honestly, I've spent a lot of time just kind of reevaluating the season from the fall till we ended and trying to find things that, we can make better, we can do better, we can prepare better. With a lot of downtime, coach looks at itself, and especially me in particular, who's extremely hard on himself, of ways that, we went wrong or ways that we can do better. And then from a recruiting standpoint, it's trying to build those connections and with high school coaches, find out what they're doing, travel ball coaches, find out what they're doing, and try to build the program up the best we can. But right now, I've probably started to learn more about handy stuff around the house. We painted a room. Being homeowners, you get the fun opportunity to fix things, and I'm not very handy with power tools, so my wife handles that, and then I just kind of do what she says in that regard. But the best part is being able to work on the field, because like you said earlier, we're going to have probably the best manicured fields right now in the country. I got off the phone this morning with a guy that's going to come and fertilize and seed our field, and I'm telling you, it's going to be smooth, it's going to be green, it's going to be beautiful. And then all I do is brainstorm different projects for the field, where to put bleachers, where to hang banners, and where to make it look like a Lakeland Mecca, hopefully.
Sounds like you and Coach Nelson have been spending some time together, maybe. So.
I do.
With
I'll tell you
those
what.
plans.
I envy Coach Nelson because I walked over there the other day, and that field is just immaculate. The way he edges, the way he takes time, and I'm just like, yes, he somewhat crazy, but man, do I want the field to look like that.
Well, I think it's safe to say we're all hoping we can get back in the field sooner than later, obviously with safety in mind. But as a parent of 3 kids who are involved in athletics, we're ready to move on to the next chapter, and we hope we can do that sooner than later. All right. Before we close shop today, guys, as I said, this is the first one we've done, so I thought it might be fun just to have like a 30-second lightning round. I'll pose a few questions. Tell us what comes to the forefront of your mind, maybe, and we'll see how this goes. So we'll start with favorite college class that you have taken. Coach Julio, what was your favorite class in college?
Speech.
I'd like to hear that. Coach Stewart.
Badminton and tennis.
Is that because
And we'll go with the current student.
I'm gonna go with history. I actually don't mind the history. Actually, it's kind of interesting.
Okay. Great. And what's your major again, Cole?
I think communications right now.
Communications. Okay, great. And Coach Julio, favorite baseball player?
Ooh. Yadier Molina.
Good choice as a Cardinal fan. Coach Stewart.
King Griffey Jr.
Cole.
Christian Yelich.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna be surprised about that.
And finally, what food have you eaten the most of since this pandemic has started? Coach Julio.
Eggs.
Ooh.
Eggs?
Pork
Coach
chops.
Stewart. Pork chops?
Yeah.
He's a grill master. Cole.
Correct.
I'm gonna go with eggs. I have a lot of them.
And person you miss the most from Lakeland College, Julio, since the middle of March.
Jack Murphy. Our other assistant.
Okay. Coach Stewart.
J.R. Hodges.
Jay.
Did you really say J.R. Hodges? Oh, my. I could see like Brian, maybe or somebody like that. But, I'll give you a chance to correct that if you want. No, kidding. Cole.
I'm gonna say all the players. That's what I miss. I miss hanging out with them, playing with them because it's been a while.
Very good. And then finally, a quick shout out. Anyone you want to say hello to, give a special hello to before we call it a day. Coach Julio.
Hopefully all the players listening and the boss, my wife.
Coach Stewart.
Players, hey, make sure you do your homework. Got to be eligible next year. And
great check.
also shout out to the women's basketball team.
Very good. Cole.
Shout out to the players.
Very good. Well, I appreciate you joining me today on this, and hopefully we can make this kind of a feature, if not weekly, maybe twice a week, and maybe even get some other baseball players on but by the time this season comes to a close. So, guys, thanks so much for your time. Stay safe, and we hope to see you sooner than later back at Lakeland College. So take care.
I appreciate you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
All right, we had Cole PAPLHAM, from the Laker baseball team, and assistant coach Zach Stewart and head coach Julio joining us here today. So thanks again, guys, and go Lakers.
Go Lakers.
You're up.